Hello, I want to welcome you to yet another exciting discussion about an important area of work and occupation. This is rewarding of workers. Of course, we know that every work has to be rewarded, and we work so that at the end of it, we get something out of our effort. Therefore, in this discussion, we want to focus on three key areas about rewards. One, we want to look at the meaning of reward. What does it exactly mean? That should become clear once we're through with this discussion. The other issue that we want to look at is the different types of rewards, or different ways on how organizations reward their workers. In this case, we are calling them typologies of rewards. The last area which we want to look at are the attributes of good rewards. We know that different organizations reward their workers differently, and therefore it is important to look at some of the characteristics that make a reward good, so that regardless of the type of reward employed by different organizations, are there basic elements in the various types of rewards that make those rewards good. That is why we want to look at the attributes of good rewards. This is an important topic again in this area, because at the end of our effort in anything that we do, we expect to be rewarded. I want to welcome you to this discussion. Again, I want to emphasize that if any issue is not clear to you, I'm kindly requesting you to note it down so that you can raise it at appropriate time, and then together we look at it again so that it is made clearer. Welcome to the discussion. Rewards refers to incentives offered to workers by the organization for the performance of work. We can also look at reward as strategies concerned with the implementation and formulation of policies that are designed to inspire workers to perform at a higher level. In other words, anything that is given for work done, we call it a reward. That's why we call it an incentive. An incentive is anything that is offered to motivate a person so that the person can do something in a better way. So when you talk about reward, we are looking at what is offered to a worker after undertaking certain tasks. But broadly, we look at rewards as strategies, that is, the various mechanisms that have been put in organization through policies, and in which the aim is to inspire performance among workers, so that at every time organizations expect workers to perform better than they did before. And therefore, the aim of rewards is to compensate employees for their performance. Why we give reward? We give reward so that a worker is compensated for the work he or she has done. In this regard, rewards can be of two broad types. We have what we call financial rewards, and then the other set of rewards are called non-financial rewards. What do each of them mean? Financial rewards is a means of recognizing workers through provision of monetary incentives. Provision of monetary incentives for the work done. In other words, any reward that is given in form of money, that kind of reward, we call it a financial reward. Non-financial rewards, on the other hand, refer to incentives which help in satisfying psychological, social, and emotional needs of workers. Anything that is given which is not financial, but whose goal is to make us feel psychologically satisfied, emotionally satisfied, and socially satisfied, so that we may put more effort on the kind of assignments we are given. Anything that is not financial, any reward that is not financial, all of them collectively, we call them non-financial rewards. Then in the subsequent discussions, we want to now focus on each of the broader types of rewards. Let's begin our discussion of the various types of financial rewards by looking at pay and allowances. Pay. In this case, we want to look at pay and allowances as a type of financial rewards. Salary is a basic and main type of financial rewards available for workers, and it includes basic pay, allowances such as house, traveling, risks, among others. Pay incentives are pegged on certain factors such as the position an individual holds in an organization, so that individuals holding different positions may have different pay based on certain aspects or characteristics of the position they hold. Again, job complexity also determines the pay, so that individuals whose jobs are more complex are likely to be paid higher than those whose jobs are fairly simple. The other thing is experience. How many years have you worked? Compensation is also given in terms of experience. It is believed that if you have worked for so many years, then there are things that you know with regard to work that newly recruited individuals may not know. And therefore, the accumulated years of experience is also compensated when it comes to pay. Training, your level of education or level of training may also determine how much pay you receive, so that those with a higher education may not receive the same amount of pay as those with lower levels of education. The other thing is personal talents. There are also instances where individuals have greater talents compared to the others. This is more so with regard to sports, so that the best sports personalities in terms of talent have higher pay compared to their counterparts with average talents. Pay should be based on objective criteria and not subjective ones, such as one's closeness to management, so that an individual is not paid better because he or she is close to certain officials of management. We need to have objective criteria that determines pay, so that your pay is basically a product of certain criteria that are verifiable, such as position, job complexity, experience, training, and personal talent. These are the issues that I discussed earlier. Therefore, an effective pay is one that has a clear linkage with performance and responsibilities. In other words, the pay you receive and the allowances you receive should be pegged on your level of performance as well as the responsibilities assigned to you as an employee. That should come out clearly. The other type of financial rewards are what we call bonuses. Bonuses. A bonus is a reward offered. It's a reward offered to acknowledge performance, as well as increase employee retention and lure prospective employees to the organization. A bonus can be given annually, and because of that, you can receive a large bonus or a small bonus, or you may not receive any bonus at all in case the organization does not perform well in that particular year. Then we have what we call spot bonus. This is bonus that is given to an individual for showing exceptional performance on any given task, which is usually outside the scope of the role that was assigned. For instance, if an organization in project planning and management say they want to open up a project in a given community, and one of the workers is able to convince members of the community to accept the project, and is also able to come in between the donors and project beneficiaries to help in ironing out any differences or conflicts that could arise as a result of that project being implemented in a given area, then showing that exceptional ability to mediate peace and resolve conflicts can be rewarded through what we call spot bonus. This is because it is an important talent, an important skill that an individual has shown, which is normally outside the specific roles that have been assigned to him or her. So spot bonus is a reward that is given to individuals who have exceeded set targets. Then we have what we call signing bonus. This is normally a one-time bonus provided when one signs onto a new role or moving to a new work location in the same organization. Signing bonus is more common in sports. For instance, a player leaving Club A to join Club B is normally given a signing bonus as a way of compensating him for leaving one club to join another club. The bonus also facilitates settlement of that particular worker to a new geographical area because of the disturbances that are involved when one is moving from one organization to the other. So sometimes this bonus is given to facilitate the relocation of an individual to a new place of work, so that it is normally a one-off payment that you are given when you're signing particular when you're signing for an organization to be their new worker. Then we have what we call retention bonus. This is offered to workers to persuade them to remain in the organization, even when there are attractive offers being given by competing organizations outside. So, to enable workers to remain in the organization and not to be tempted to leave the organization because of the benefits offered by other organizations, such a worker might be persuaded to remain in that organization by being provided with what we call retention bonus. So bonus is also another way, another type of financial rewards that organizations may offer their workers. Another type or approach employed by organizations to financially reward their workers is what we call profit sharing. Profit sharing refers to a situation where an organization offers to pay workers a percentage of the profit and rewards and is based on the organization's earnings over a given period. It comes in the form of pro rata, which implies that rather, profit sharing can be of different types. One of them is called pro rata. Pro rata is a form of profit sharing in which all workers receive the same amount of reward regardless of their position, gender, or any demographic differences in the organization. If it is 10 shillings, then it is 10 shillings across, whether you are the CEO or you are the cleaner. From the topmost to the bottommost, the amount of reward given, if it is on pro rata basis, it is the same across board. Another form is what we call non-comparability. This is a form of profit sharing in which employees of different cadre receive different amounts. Mostly those in critical positions and in high positions, they are likely to receive higher rewards because of the belief that they may have played a greater role in making the organization profitable. So because they contributed a greater percentage in terms of roles and responsibilities towards profitability of the organization, it is always felt that that greater role is rewarded differently from the other workers who may not have played as prominent role as their counterparts in critical and high ranks. Then the other type is called age-weighted. Age-weighted is a profit sharing scheme which takes account of one's age, so that older workers are normally given a higher share of the profit that has been designed for sharing to be given to workers. This is done on the recognition that, one, given their age, they may have accumulated greater skills that could have had greater contribution in the profitability of the organization. Again, the other argument probably is that younger people, on account of their age, still have so many years ahead of them in the organization, and therefore, as they continue working, they still have so many years ahead of them that they are still likely to be rewarded through profit sharing. In short, profit sharing is a case in which an organization decides to take a portion of the profit earned in any given year and have it given to workers in form of a reward. And this one comes in three forms: pro rata, which means all workers, regardless of their position, they receive the same amount. The other one is non-comparability, in which workers receive different amounts based on the position they hold and the responsibilities assigned to them in the organization. Then the other one is called age-weighted, whereby elderly workers or older workers, they receive higher rewards compared to the younger ones. Another type of financial rewards is called employee stock options. Employee stock options simply means a chance being offered to workers to be part of the shareholders in the organization they are working. In other words, workers are offered the opportunity or the option to buy shares in the organization so that they become shareholders. The reason why this is done is to retain workers other than rewarding and attracting them. Indeed, workers are likely to remain in an organization where they are shareholders. And again, the belief is that once you are a shareholding organization, you are likely to perceive that organization as part of your assets. And therefore, you stand a better chance of working harder so that the organization can get greater profit. The more the profit the organization receives, the more earnings you have through profits that have been apportioned for shareholders. So this option is normally, rather this type of reward is normally given to workers so that they are encouraged. They're encouraged to be shareholders. They buy shares and they remain as shareholders of the organization. As they remain the organization, there's a possibility that they may work harder to see the organization becomes profitable and to enhance the amount of money they receive in terms of dividends. So most of the CEOs in blue chip companies are normally offered the opportunity to buy shares and be part of the shareholders in those organizations. This one is done to encourage them to work hard and to steer organization to greater profitability so that at the end they can have additional earnings in their salaries through the dividends that are declared at the end of the financial year. Another type of financial rewards that's also given to workers is called retirement benefits. These are benefits payable to the member of the pension on retirement or earlier withdrawal from service. They include retirement pensions, retirement lump sums or gratuities, dependent pensions, which is payable following the member's death, retirement. Retirees also benefit from any periodic increases on all pensions while still in the payment system. Indeed, organizations also appreciate the efforts of their workers by organizing for them the retirement benefits so that upon retirement, workers still have a reliable source of income to help them cope up with the life in retirement. Indeed, many countries have formulated pension schemes as a way of enabling people, once they retire, to have some income to enable them to meet some of their basic needs. In Kenya, this is also there, and most of government employees and even some parastatals and even private sectors, they have pension schemes as a means of rewarding employees and making them and encouraging them to remain faithful to particular organization. So retirement benefit schemes are there. They may differ from one organization to the other, but the bottom line is that the benefits that come in form of retirement are those that are meant to enable a retiree to lead a more quality life, being able to meet basic needs and being able to cater for certain services such as medicine, among others. In other words, it is done to enhance quality of life of retirees. The last type of financial rewards are what we call the perquisites. These are fringe benefits that are received over and above an employee's salary, which can be taxable or not. Some of the perquisites that are taxable in nature include rent-free accommodation, supply of gas, water and electricity, professional tax to employees, reimbursement of medical expense, and the salary of servants employed by an employee. Non-taxable fringe benefits include travel allowance, computer or laptop provided by the company for official use, refreshments provided by the employer during office hours, provision of medical aid, use of health club, sports club, telephone lines, as well as interest-free salary loans. These are not taxable. In other words, perquisites are those things, those rewards that are given to a worker, which are over and above their pay, and they come in a variety of forms depending on the company policies and also the competitiveness of what other organizations provide. Indeed, if organization A provides better perquisites, it may provoke or prompt organization B to match them or provide even better ones, so that an employee is not tempted to leave one organization for another because of the superior perquisites that are being offered by other organizations. They come in many forms, as you have seen, and many times you'll find that depending on rank, there are organizations where utilities such as water and electricity is paid for by the company. Things like rent is paid for by the company. People are also allowed to use fuel of particular petrol stations, and then they bill the company. If in case you fall sick and you go for medical treatment, you're only required to present documentation to prove that you indeed incurred some expenses in your treatment. Then those expenses are reimbursed to you. There are instances you also asked to employ a servant. It could be a house girl, it could be gardener, it could be a security guard. All these are catered for by the company that one works for. There are ways of motivating an employee to do and to be more productive. So perquisites are basically those benefits that are over and above one's salary. Let us now turn our attention to non-financial reward systems. Let's spend some time and look at them. One of them is called job status. The status given to the job of an individual in the form of authority, responsibility, rewards, prestige, recognition, among others, may also help in satisfying the psychological, social, and esteem needs of an individual. In other words, we can also reward an individual by enhancing the status of their jobs. How can we do this? One way of doing this is increasing giving a worker more freedom, flexibility, and also opportunity for participation in what goes on in the organization. Individuals who have greater freedom on how to work feel that they are more motivated because they are not strictly supervised by their superiors. Their work is also flexible. It is left up to them to determine the work methods they want to employ, the deadlines they set for themselves, and the level of quality of work that is required. So if an individual's job status is enhanced, the person may feel more satisfied. We can also enhance the status of one's job by providing amenities such as tea, water, telephone services, access to internet, office machines, refreshments. The availability of these amenities also makes somebody feel more proud with his work and also feel more appreciated with what he's doing. Other ways also of enhancing the job status are like provision of company transport, such as company car, provision of security, provision of spacious and well-equipped office, and also provision of support staff. Therefore, if you increase or enhance the status of one's job, the person feels psychologically and emotionally satisfied. His sense of self-esteem is raised, and that sense of pride is translated, may be transferred into work, which may lead to greater motivation and greater work output. So one way of non-financially rewarding workers is by enhancing their job status. Another way of rewarding workers non-financially is through provision of career advancement opportunities. That is, organizations should provide appropriate opportunities for workers to advance their career. Things such as promotion may play a greater role in advancing one's career in the organization, and this can encourage a worker to perform his work even better. Organizations can also provide training opportunities so that workers are able, either in terms of sabbatical leave offered or in terms of financial support offered, for them to attend additional training to further their career, to enhance their knowledge level, and also to interact with their peers from other sectors. So when such opportunities are provided, the workers may also feel rewarded. It is not good, for instance, to stagnate workers, to deny workers opportunity to prosper, to enhance their careers, to grow. No worker would be willing and motivated to remain in an organization where they feel that their career growth is being stifled. It is therefore the responsibility of organizations to ensure that they offer as many opportunities as possible to ensure that workers can advance their career, can advance their knowledge, can advance, are able to learn new methods of work, are able to employ a variety of tools such as technology in the undertaking of their roles. So if opportunities are provided where workers are able to advance their career, such workers feel that they have been rewarded, they feel that they have been recognized, and they may remain more and more committed to that particular organization. Job enrichment is yet another way through which workers can be rewarded non-financially. It refers to the process of designing jobs with more variety of work content, which requires higher level of knowledge and skills. It can also be achieved by giving employees the autonomy to perform a task on their own without micromanagement. It provides more freedom, responsibility, and opportunity for personal growth to the employees. An enriched job is also interesting, motivating, challenging, intellectually fulfilling, and also inspiring. In other words, when a job is enriched, what basically it means is that you are increasing the number of tasks an individual is required to do, and you're also increasing the significance of the tasks that the individual is undertaking. People feel more motivated if the kind of tasks they have been assigned are perceived by the organization as being more significant, and therefore attaching significant jobs to individuals make individuals feel and appreciate that the organization also consider them as being significant to that particular organization. When when a job is enriched, it also means that employees have the latitude to decide on the work methods and they also become more responsible, and also opportunities for growth arise. So organizations are normally encouraged to ensure that they enrich individual tasks, because a task that is enriched is more interesting, is more motivating. Employees feel challenged. They feel that the kind of task assigned to them offers them opportunity to fully exploit the skills acquired in training and also those acquired over the years as workers. They also feel that it also challenges their intellectual capacity, and therefore when they are able to resolve complex tasks because of an enriched job, they feel more psychologically and intellectually fulfilling. Again, they also feel inspired. So one way of rewarding employees non-financially is to increase the content of their jobs and also the significance of the tasks that are assigned to them. Workers can also be financially rewarded by recognizing their contribution. Recognition means appreciation and acknowledgement of workers for their service to the organization. However, recognizing workers goes beyond appreciation, rather goes beyond recognition to include appreciation. Workers who are appreciated feel motivated and inspired to perform. For instance, organization may recognize a worker by displaying the achievement of a given worker on the organizational notice board, providing certificates for good performance, and also congratulating a worker for exceptional performance. Employees who feel recognized and appreciated for what they have done, even through provision of certificates, through organization of parties to celebrate them, they feel more motivated, and therefore we can also reward our workers non-financially by recognizing them for the services rendered and for the exceptional performances they have offered. How do we do this? We can do this by announcing and appreciating the achievements through company notice boards, awarding them certificates of good performance to recognize that, and even congratulating them through a variety of means for the kind of performances they have offered to the organization. Therefore, employee recognition can also go a long way in rewarding and motivating workers, and that may make them feel more inspired to even produce and deliver better services to the organization. Different organizations offer different rewards, both financial and non-financial, to different workers. Regardless of the type of reward offered, there are certain things that organizations need to observe when designing and rewarding their workers. So now I want us to look at some of the attributes of good rewards. One of these attributes is significance. That is, the reward offered to workers must be perceived as by workers as being valuable and significant to them. It is important to note that no reward is equally valuable to all workers. Some workers appreciate such rewards, others appreciate others. So, It's advisable that organizations give workers what they feel is important to them. To be effective, rewards must be perceived by workers as significant, as that helps in satisfying them psychologically as well as boosting their self-esteem. Rewards offered should therefore match the demographics and interests of workers. There are those rewards that younger people would prefer, while there are others that would be preferred more by older workers. Similarly, there are certain rewards that those who have had many years of work experience may appreciate compared to those that are just joining organizations from college. Women may also appreciate certain rewards that may or may not be appreciated by their male counterparts. It is on this basis that it is important that the kinds of rewards offered to workers should be those that workers consider and appreciate as significant. Otherwise, a reward will not have the desired effect, that is, motivating employees or inspiring them to perform at high level, if the recipients of these rewards do not appreciate and consider them as significant. It is therefore important for organizations to ensure that the rewards they offer to their workers are those that workers consider and perceive as significant to them. Another important consideration that organizations need to put in place is, or put in mind, is what we call equity. Equity refers to the fairness of reward distribution among workers and also in relation to what workers in the same sector get. Organizations should consider rewarding all workers who achieve something with respect to their level, to their personal level. That is, we may not have a case in which all workers are given the same amount of reward regardless of their contribution to the organization. It should be noted that reward should be those that match the contribution of workers to the performance of the organization, so that those who have a greater contribution should be rewarded differently compared to those who have contributed lowly to the organization. Consider also demographics such as gender, race, education, and personality when designing reward systems, because they affect individuals' perception of reward. If I noted earlier, certain gender may perceive certain rewards as more valuable to them compared to other rewards. The same thing to level of education. For instance, individuals with a lower level of education may appreciate opportunity for higher education compared to those who have already achieved higher education. So that all these things need to be borne in mind when organizations are designing reward systems to ensure that rewards serve the intended purpose, that is, being appreciated, and workers given those rewards perceiving those rewards as addressing both their economic and psychological needs. But equity also implies combination of both financial and non-financial reward systems, as some people may be more responsive to financial rewards while others non-financial rewards. It is important that we have a combination of both financial and non-financial reward systems, since, as I have observed earlier, some people could be more inclined to monetary rewards, while others may be more inclined to non-monetary rewards. So a combination of both financial and non-financial rewards is important, because so as to ensure that people who perceive those two sets of rewards differently are all catered for. Another issue that should come to mind when organizations are designing reward systems is the issue of transparency. Transparency means that workers are not only familiar with the reward system, but the rewards must also be distributed transparently. We should avoid situations in which the nature and the way workers are rewarded is not clear, not only to workers, but also it's not properly explained in the organization policies. Reward should be predictive so that workers are able to anticipate what issue to them, what kind of rewards is available to them in advance. It should be clearly stated that if it is financial rewards, what are the types of rewards that are available to workers? If they are non-financial rewards, which ones are available to workers? Again, it's also important for organizations to clearly, in advance, set the level of performance standards that is expected of workers for them to qualify for particular rewards. Again, the system of evaluating performance of employees so as to ascertain who and who does not qualify for rewards should be clear to all workers, so that if any worker misses to get reward on account of not meeting the requirements or qualifications for reward, then it is completely clear to those employees as to why they did not qualify for particular rewards. So transparency is important when they're designing rewards, and organizations need to ensure that at all times, whatever they do is done in a transparent manner. Otherwise, if things are done in an opaque manner and it creates the perception that some workers are favored at the expense of others, then this might lead to low morale and low production. So it is important that reward structures, reward systems are discussed openly, explained in a transparent manner, and all workers are made aware of the kind of rewards available to them, and also the standard of work expected of them, and the manner in which their performance will be evaluated, so that when they miss rewards, it is clearly to them as to why they didn't qualify for particular. The last consideration is competitiveness of the reward. That is, reward must be competitive to other organizations' provisions. This calls for regular revision of rewards to make them competitive and reflect cost of living. Rewards should also accommodate changes in cost of living and modern tastes. Competitive rewards help in attracting and retaining competent workers in addition to enhancing organizational performance. What we mean here is that do not offer rewards that employees consider as not in any way recognizing their efforts. Remember that the main purpose of rewarding employees or workers is to retain them and also to motivate them. So provide rewards that are capable of retaining employees in the organization. It is important for organizations also to spy on the kind of rewards being offered by their competitors, so that in turn they can either match or exceed the types of rewards or amounts of rewards their competitors offer to their workers. Workers become more competent in an organization that they think is rewarding them competitively. So to have a competitive edge over others, it is significant for organizations to come up with the reward packages that are competitive. Otherwise, workers have the tendency of preferring to leave organizations for others that they consider their rewards as reasonable, and those that, in the understanding, values and recognizes their contribution to the organization. It is therefore incumbent for organizations to ensure that whatever they offer as rewards should either match or exceed those that are offered by their competitors, since anything less of that will not only fail to motivate workers, but also will not help in retaining workers. At all times, workers will form the intention to quit because they think that the organization they are currently working for is not in a significant way recognizing the critical role they are playing in these organizations. Therefore, their desire is to leave and join organizations that they perceive their rewards as being reasonable and adequate and matches the kind of contribution workers give those particular organizations. We stop there, and once more I want to thank you and encourage you to take note of any issue that you feel need further clarification. We will create time and have more discussion on issues that we propose that requires further discussion. Thank you.